Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Welcome to What's on Tap podcast. I am your host, Stefan.
I'm your host, Martin.
And we are going to do what we normally do on these things. Drink some beers.
Talk about beers.
Talk about beers. Do some nerd shit.
But it's a very special episode for me because I brought these beers in reference to a trip I recently went on to the Swedish capital of Stockholm.
The crown jewel of Scandinavia is what they say.
Isn't that Copenhagen?
No,
Never mind.
It should be Copenhagen.
Let's.
But it's not. It's Stockholm.
Let's not disrespect the country we are in. So, south of Stockholm.
What, is it your motherland or your fatherland?
We call it motherland.
Right. What's the difference?
Wait. No. Huh.
There is a difference. There is a way to. There is a proper reference, but I don't remember what the difference is.
Wait. We call our country Moder Svea, Mother Svea.
Yeah.
But so I had heard the saying Fadersland. Fäderneslandet. Never mind. Sweden is female. Moder Svea.
Okay. All right.
So south of Stockholm.
But it looks like a penis. How does that work?
That's only if you remove
Norway?
Yeah. So south of Stockholm is the suburb of Handen. That's where this brewery is located. But it's weird. The brewery is called Grona Linjen, or the Green Line. And the Green Line is a big part of Stockholm subway network. But it doesn't go out to Handen. It goes like halfway out to Skarpnäck. But you can't reach the brewery with the green subway line. But that's the name of the brewery.
Does it have to do with the subway line? I mean...
Grona Linjen is 100%...
Or maybe there's just a reference to like a green line that they have, and they just thought that'd be fun to call it that.
But come on. The cans have...
green lines on them.
That seems like a subway reference.
Does it? It just seems like a line reference to me.
If this isn't a reference to the subway... The green line ties together the everyday for man in the city when a lot of other things divides us. Oh, come on. But this one says, next stop, Gullmarsplan. That's one of the stops on the green line. But maybe I'm wrong, that maybe they're not from the suburb of Handen. Maybe they are from actual center of Stockholm. It doesn't matter. This is a Stockholm beer with a Stockholm reference.
That's not really exported outside of the Stockholm area. Correct?
I actually could order these two.
Oh, well, could you? All right. So your whole trip was built on lies, is what you're saying?
No. Yeah. Yes. So we are going to try these two beers, and I am going to try to sneak in a few recommendations in Stockholm.
Well, perfect. I like this.
So first we have the beer called Bira Bira Bira, which is beer, which is a lager.
And what's the ABV on this one?
The ABV is 5.
Okay, and this is an unfiltered lager based off of the look on this, which is hazy, or I should say, not clear, not
exactly,
clean.
not clear. A little bit of hops in the aroma. Could be a hoppier lager. Cheers.
Let's try it.
A tiny hint of vegetables.
Yeah, it's basically based off of the hops that they used here. But they don't mention the hop base. But it's definitely one of the earthier tones. Not really my favorite style. But, having said that, this is pretty drinkable.
Yeah, I was expecting either tastier hoppiness or more malty lagerness. I wasn't expecting this middle...
Yeah, this one definitely goes into the bitter finish kind of category with more earthy kind of notes to it. I think if you like this style of beer, you're probably really going to enjoy this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite style, but I think it's well made. I think the carbonation is really spot on, and the The mouthfeel is really good on this one. Unfortunately, I just do not care for the hop style on this.
No.
But before we give a rating, tell us a recommendation for Stockholm.
So for this particular trip, in previous trips, I've been to the places like Omnipolo's Church and Omnipolo's Foot, the pizza bar in central Stockholm, Akkurat, etc. Oliver Twist. One place I keep going back to whenever I'm in Stockholm is Stigberget's Foot, which is a great place. They always have really good beers. So if you go to the Omnipolo bars, that's what you're going to get. Omnipolo beers.
Yeah.
With like one exception. Stigberget's Foot, it's walking.
But also really expensive Omnipolo beers.
Yes. Yeah. They're really expensive.
Oh my god.
So Stigberget's Foot will have some American stouts, like Finback Imperial Stouts. They'll have Marlow Bobo Meads, some good IPAs. There are always real bangers there. Cantillon. They not the last trip, but the trip before that. Me and my friend ordered Cantillon on draft, and when the bartender realized that the draft had run dry, he just opened a bottle of the same beer and poured us that. I thought that was a nice solution to a complicated problem.
Exactly. Modern problems, modern solutions.
Exactly. And it's great. Everyone keeps telling me they have good food, but it's always packed when I get there, and then 2 or 3 spots open up at the bar.
Yeah.
When I am there thinking about leaving, it always like...
starts to clear out, and you're like, well, now it's time to go somewhere else, so...
No. I always find place to sit.
But did you eat?
No, not at the bar. Come on.
But would you? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So Stigberget's Foot is amazing. I also want to recommend... is a near Stockholm Central Station, you have the Belgo bar. The beer selection there isn't the best. They have some classic Belgian beers.
Very Belgian is the name.
Westmalle and stuff. And some own-produced ones. But their food is really good. We had this trip now, we had moule frite and some Belgian sausages, and it's all good. And just walking distance from there is Internationale Pressklubben, the International Press Club, like for journalists. But everyone is welcome. And they have a better Belgian selection. So, Tilquin on tap. That's
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's more the feeling. So, we like Tilquin on tap, right?
Of course.
And the Cantillon bottles, etc.
Yeah.
So that's another recommendation.
All
but
right.
the one I really want to... You were going to say something.
I've never been to the International Press Club, but I've seen it and thought about it, but I was like, I don't know if that's really a thing or not. Like,
I recommend it.
All right, I'll definitely check it out next time I'm there.
I definitely recommend it. But the recommendation I want to hammer down is a place called Udda near Medborgarplatsen, one of the big squares.
All right, save that thought.
Yeah?
Let's rate this beer.
Yes. Next one is from the same brewery.
No, we didn't rate this beer yet. What do you get this?
2.75. It doesn't work.
I was going to give it a 3.
Sure.
All right.
No, it's not.
Again, I don't think it's poorly made. I think it's actually pretty well made. I just really hate the hops, so it doesn't work for me. All right, so next we have...
but for me, hints of boiled vegetables will bring it down.
Yeah. But is that the brewing, or is it the hop selection, or what do you think causes that?
Don't know.
Once again, we're bringing you the heat.
Maybe it's the hops.
I think it's the hops.
Yeah. So the next beer from the same brewery is Högdalen Not Hazy IPA.
Yeah.
And they're right. It's not hazy. It is a murky West Coast.
It's an unfiltered kind of West. It's very caramel on the nose. This comes in at 6.2.
A little bit perfumey.
I would have thought it was actually closer to 8 based on the caramel notes. Almost feels like a really classic West Coast style when I smell it, when I think about it. It's very bubblegummy kind of notes. These are the kind of, when I first started drinking double IPAs, they were all kind of like this. And I was like, I don't get why people like double IPAs. These are not very good. And then the hazies came around and it all changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a milder version of West Coast IPA. It's got more, again, this is kind of like some other beers we've had recently where the nose is quite, like, really sets an expectation, but the flavor profile just does not deliver on that. I kind of feel like this is one of those cases. Expecting it to be a little more malty, kind of almost in that bubblegummy kind of flavors, and the aftertaste is not bitter. It's not really much of anything.
I accidentally tried the lager again. I was like, oh no, not this one as well.
It's like that was an interesting choice. We went back to.
That was a mistake.
So tell us about this other place.
So
what's it called?
It's called Udda.
Udda,
which is the Swedish word for odd.
Okay.
And they have 12 taps and a beer, a can and bottle selection.
All right.
And there always are fun options. So right now, they have some Puhaste, some La Pirata Brewing, several Funky Fluid, several Factory from Finland. And then they tie in some local Stockholm breweries like Solna Bryggeri and Underjord, and I think Cyclic Beer Farm and Universum. So it's like half weird Finnish, Polish, sometimes American.
Wow, that's really nice.
And then half is so local you won't find them at Systembolaget.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And the owners are super nice and friendly. It's one of the few places in Stockholm where you can actually get a beer flight.
Oh, okay.
Other places, you ask them, what's the smallest I can buy? Oh, that's a 30. Oof.
That'll be a 30.
Okay, I would like a small of these 5 beers, and then your night is ruined. But here you actually get a plank with these. I'm guessing they're 10 or maybe 15 centiliters, but the price is low on the sampler, and you can sample anything. That's how we like it. So that's what we're spoiled with in Malmö and Copenhagen. And in Stockholm, it looks like, oh, the very smallest is 20 centiliters, and they cost a fortune.
They really do.
You get half of the beer and 10% off the price. That's basic. It's all a scam. But not at this place.
Well, that's a really good recommendation there. I'll definitely have to try it out.
I still haven't tried their food, but apparently they have knäckebröd pizzas.
What's that?
I don't know.
Okay.
So knäckebröd is Swedish hard bread. I'm guessing they put cheese and toppings on one of those and put it in a little oven.
Okay. Well, we discovered recently the great Swedish controversy. Which side do you butter your knäckebröd on?
Yeah, exactly.
So if those of you aren't familiar with it, you can find this in basically any grocery store in the world, or Western grocery store, I should probably say. But anyway, it's a hard flatbread, kind of like a cracker almost.
Yes,
and
but big.
But big, yeah, but very like rectangular. On one side is like kind of a textured baking side that kind of has bubbles and crevices on it. Yes. And the other side is just completely flat. So in Sweden, the controversy is, do you butter or add your toppings to the bubbly, crackly side or the flat side?
You would get more butter if you did it on the bubbly, crackly side,
yes,
and not the flat side. So that's right. The controversy.
I had not heard this controversy before, but people had some real hard opinions on this. I was really surprised. This was like a 10-minute conversation around which side do you add your toppings to?
Definitely.
I'm going to start adding this to conversations whenever I go to work events or whatever and asking.
Yeah, for sure. So looking at their bottle selection, I mean, it's a lot of Puhaste Silver Series, Imperial Stouts, Anderson Brewery, more Puhaste, Pojala, the Cam Lambics.
That's pretty nice.
Brasserie La Malpolon. They have some French stuff, Norwegian stuff, more the Cam. They have a lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I've been to that place 2 times now, and both of the times have exceeded my visits to other Stockholm bars, with the exception of Stigberget's Foot.
Okay, well, I will definitely... So next time I'm in Stockholm, which isn't very, very often, it's quite rare, we'll definitely check it out. So, going back to the green line, Grona Linjen, what would you give this?
A kind 3.25.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This was okay.
It's an IPA. It's going towards West Coast.
But it doesn't quite get all the way to the West Coast. It's kind of more like an Arizona.
It's a new style.
It's close to the West Coast, but it doesn't quite make it all the way.
No.
All right, well, then we'll close this episode out with where you can find us, which is, of course, on what'sontappodcast.com, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you find podcasts. Take a moment to follow, enjoy our podcast. So until next time,
keep drinking, you dum-dums.